Conor McGregor, I mean, a while ago I sent you a video of him talking shit. I think you already responded to that. But then last night he was talking shit to you again. Like, what do you think of that? The first one he was coked out of his mind, probably last night too.
Yeah, bro, he's definitely coked out of his mind last night, right? It's
right. It's like
when you're looking at him and how far he's fallen off. You know, you lost all your. What did he lose? He lost Proper 12. That was his baby, right? He lost this. It's like, think about your future, how your kids are going to look at you. Now you're a convicted rapist. You just lost that. And
I think it was a lawsuit. I don't think it was
a lawsuit, yeah.
But still.
Yeah, but it's like you're showing yourself. You're showing these people. When you were talking about the next generation, so many people look up to you and they see you as this star and put you on this pedestal, and you're showing this side of yourself. It's like, it's kind of pathetic. And even now, as a fighter, he always wants to just put his name in the mix whenever there's a big fight.
Yeah, well, I think he keeps attacking you. Just try to put his name in the mix.
Yeah, right? Because he wants people like...
There's no way he'll come in and fight you.
No, he would never fight. But it's anytime there's a big fight. When Holloway and Topuria fought, he wants to put his name in the mix. When these guys fought, he wants to put it... It's just because I think that he's starting to feel like you have all the money in the world, right? But he wants that stardom. He wants that.
He's losing it.
He's losing it. Nobody's starting to care about him.
No fighters respect him anymore.
Yeah,
guys. He just doesn't have my respect. You know, like
So now I think that he wants that so bad. Like you know how they say money doesn't buy you happiness, right? I don't think he's happy. No, you can just tell he's not happy. He's that guy now that's like, it's embarrassing to think that. He built up the sport, right? He built it up to another level. And
he helped the sport, so I won't deny that. Yeah.
Yeah, but when you look at it now, it's like now you're bringing it down. Now you're the stereotype for what people think fighters are. You're just drunks. You're addicts. You're this. You're that. And you have young kids. You should be looking at yourself in the mirror and thinking, like, I got to make changes. You got to go to rehab, bro. It's
actually kind of sad, you know, because like the guy did so much, and it's you know. What was the first video he talked crap about you? What did he say? I can't remember. But he looked just so coked out. I remember I sent you. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah.
He was like coked out of his mind. I'm like, look at this guy.
Yeah, for me, I'm just like, I don't really care.
Yeah,
like, I'll go back and forth with him all day.
No, if he wants to fight you, that's great, but I don't think he will.
Yeah, he would never.
You'd make a huge payday if he fights you, but I really don't think he'd have the balls to step in and fight you.
He would never. And it would be the thing. And I think that's why he just wants to put those tweets out there to act like he would, because he's still gonna have those trolls or those fans.
I'm the champ. Why don't you step in and jump in the line, or why don't you fight after I win this fight?
Yeah, right.
He'll go silent real quick.
He won't say nothing, but he's just gonna keep trying to keep that popularity in the fight game, because nobody knows him now. Though now they're only gonna know him by this rape case. They're only gonna know him by the stuff he's done wrong. So he's trying to think of what he needs to do to get back into the fighter's eyes, and that's getting in the cage. But like, he's not gonna happen, because you have to train to get in the cage. You can't be freaking partying every day, and he doesn't have that hunger no more. He doesn't have that no more.
He's lost it. And even though I've never liked Conor, I hope he gets his act together, and I would like to see him come back. You know, I would like to see him come back and fight Nate again, even though we got into each other. We almost got in a fight during that, press conference. Yeah. And after, I saw him at a club after, so I almost fought the guy a couple of times, but it's like, he still made Nate a lot of money, and I would like to see him get sober again and do better. Yeah, and that's a trilogy on the table, right? Yeah. That's the fight that everybody would want to see. That'd be a massive money fight. They're both towards the towards the end of their career. That'd be a huge money fight for both of them. It's like, it'd be great to see, right? Yeah, I mean, if Nate freaking knocks him out, that'd be great to see. To see him get beat up again. I think he'd beat him up again. Seeing Dustin Poirier break him and fold him like that was like the best feeling in the world. The Khabib fight was great, because that's what blew Khabib up. And it was, remember they got the brawl afterwards? Yeah. And that showed me how out of touch the journalists were, because after he jumped over and kneed the guy in the face, and I went on Twitter, the journalists, analysts, everyone was freaking out saying it ruined Khabib's career. And I'm like, oh, I guess maybe I'm out of touch. Then I went out the next day, like coffee shops, the guys were like, hey, did you see that Russian guy last night? He's everywhere I went, everyone was just hyped on Khabib, and they didn't know who he was before. I'm like, these journalists are a bunch of dorks. They're literally stupid, but that's the kind of fight you need to put you up to that level, right? Even that's why I love those fights where there is trash talk. No, because he helped Khabib, he helped Nate, because he had such a mega star. Yeah, maybe he had more stardom than he deserved, but somebody that knows how to talk, to build a fight. Even with the Leon fight, after he beat Kobe, I was like, let's do a face off, and he was acting like brushing it off, like he didn't know who I was, or he doesn't deserve this. I'm like, bro, you got to build up the next fight. There's a thing called promotion. Like, you're getting pay-per-view numbers now, so do you not want to sell pay-per-views? He's an idiot. And that's why when you see fighters that aren't trying to promote or just trying to be quiet or not be on social media, I'm like, you're not going to make any money, because there's a fight this week, and then next week there's another one. So they're forgetting about you unless you stay in their eye
Stay doing interviews. Stay doing, on social media, promoting yourself. Because if you're not promoting yourself, why would the UFC want to waste your time promoting you?
Yeah, I know. I did like zero promo. Wasn't on Twitter when I was fighting, and I totally regret that. Now, I talk to you on Twitter, podcast, do more stuff, and it makes a huge difference. Guys like Chael Sonnen got that. Like, you got to put yourself out there.
You're bigger now than you were anyway.
I was only focusing
as a champion of the world.
I was only focusing on just, all I want to do is train and fight. I got obsessed with that. I didn't even think about the back end. So these fighters really need to think about all aspects,
Yeah, I tell these younger guys now, start building up your social media now, because you could
do your own YouTube and do a Twitter. You could even if you only do it occasionally, if you do like one podcast a month, you start building it so you have a thing.
And you'll get better at doing interviews. Like
exactly.
A lot of these guys, they're afraid to do interviews. Or I don't want to do this interview. I'm like, bro, you got to get better at them, because when you do make it to this level, you have to.
It does suck. A lot of the journalists are so annoying. They ask the same questions, or these corny ass dork like, are you an Ariel Helwani cool? Or
no,
he probably don't like you because your heritage.
100%. And then I'll say that from the beginning, because I was like, he's never invited me on his podcast.
He's never invited you on.
He's never invited me on. And then then I signed with Ali, and he was like, it's because Ali's not letting him come on. I was like, you never invited me on beforehand. Yeah. My coach, Lewis Taylor, won the PFL belt at 42 years old, and you never invited him on because he's with me. And I was like, that's a huge story. That should have been something that was on a big podcast, right? But you didn't talk about him. You didn't mention him. Even when I beat Leon, it was like, he didn't mention it. Belal did a good job. He won. It was like, you didn't give it any type of hype.
No.
But for me, like I said, I don't care. I don't have no hate for nobody, right? You can say whatever you want to say. And then he's the one who brought it up last time. He's like, he doesn't want to come on a podcast probably because of Palestine, Israel. I'm like, no,
you have tons of Jewish friends. I do too. People think like, you hate Jews, blah blah. It's like, no, I hate them killing kids in Palestine with my fucking money.
Exactly.
I have children and shit. I get sickened seeing that. It's just like absolutely the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life. It's just.
And no innocent person should be dying, right?
I don't hate Jews, but I do hate Jews killing children with my money.
Exactly.
So as long as the Jew doesn't want to kill kids with my money, I'm cool with that.
The evil ones, right?
Yeah,
and
right.
It's like people can't separate that. They just say that, they put words in your mouth. They think you're this because of this.
They do it deliberately because they want to intimidate and scare people. They have all these organized groups. I'm on the ADL list, the Stop Anti-Semitism. And for what? For not wanting to kill children. They try to intimidate you, try to get me fired. They'll call gyms to do seminars out. They call, Derek Moneyberg guy I work with, a Jewish guy. I do a lot of business with him. He gets like hate emails being like, that guy's an anti-Semite, blah, blah. Derek's like, that's my fucking friend. Don't tell me he's an he hates Jews. The guy's like,
and I just saw Derek yesterday. Right? I'm doing an event with him.
Yeah, you do stuff with Derek. There's
at the end of the month, right?
And he's cool too. He's not weird like it, like, you're Palestinian. He don't look at it that way. He doesn't care,
Yeah.
And people need to be very clear that it's not, all Jews. And I think there are some people that start thinking, oh man, all these guys, they start seeing this stuff online and stuff, and they start thinking these people are evil. And people need to be very clear not to separate it, that it's, there are a lot of good Jews out there too.
100%. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's one of those like weird situations. Off to Palestine one more time. Do your family still have a lot of family out there and stuff? They talk to them? Is it like?
Yeah, we have family out there. And even now, like I said, the people that are out there now, they're saying the West Bank is getting so much.
But even the West Bank is just terrible.
Yeah, and it's hard, right? Because you're trying to figure out what you're going to do, and then you're telling them
leave, but they're like, no one will take them. Literally, no one will take them.
Yeah.
And part of the reason the Middle East don't want to take them too is the Greater Israel Project. They want all that land, which is probably part of the reason why Syria is falling.
Yeah.
If they take them, they're going to start going for more land. It's like.
And then, or you're saying you're going to take them and you're going to put them in these refugee camps in these other countries, and then all of a sudden. Obviously, a refugee camp, people are people. People are going to be fighting for food, fighting for this, and then they're going to say, "Look at these animals. This is why we don't want them."
They raided food trucks a couple times because they're hungry. Oh, they're raiding a food truck because they're starving. And then they start shooting them when they're trying to get food. Just like
and you're like, bro, these are real people, man. They're being starved. They're dying. So like, obviously, if I have to grab something, if I need to do whatever I can do to get bread for my family so my kid doesn't starve, they're going to do it. And it's just like. It shouldn't have to be that way. There shouldn't be that way. There's so many charities out here that are willing to give, but they're not allowed in. It's a forced starvation, and it's just hard.
Every international group has said they're committing genocide, but our government just ignores it. They start attacking these organizations. What, you have like 20? They just call them anti-Semitics. What, like every organization, Amnesty International, the ICC. I'm terrible at the names, but all these different organizations all keep saying it's genocide, and our government just keeps ignoring it. It's like, at what point are we going to stand up? And
they're not human, right? Because even when you have these guys come out there, the press secretary, and they're just like emotionless when they're getting asked questions about it, and it's like, bro, are you not seeing this? Are you not looking at this? And when when senators get called out in public and they get looked at and they just like walk away, act like they ignore it, and then you get it makes you angry, right? It makes you to the point of it's like, man, I want to just punch this guy in his mouth right now.
Yeah, it makes you start hating these politicians and influencers when you know they're just bought and paid. Some are blackmailed through Epstein.
It's so fake, and it's like these guys are supposed to be the leaders, and it puts these other people on the how people put like actors on a pedestal. And you're like, bro, these actors are just normal dumb people. They're not smart.
Yeah,
and
right.
these politicians, just because they have an office, they're not smart. They're dumb people. They're evil. And it's like in the old days, you think, oh man, look at this actor. Can I touch you? You're the greatest thing ever. And then you hear them talk, you're like,
yeah, actors are losing that thing though. They don't have the same star appeal they used to.
yeah, but for like the casuals and the people out here, there's a lot of people out here that will just listen to you just because he said vote for him.
But the good thing is, because, before they had complete control of the information, you look who runs the media, who runs most of social media, it's all that same group. But now people like me can do podcasts, and people can go on Twitter, and we can fight back, and that's the tides are changing because of that. People are actually starting to see what's going on without the media lying, the media spin.
That's the real news. I went on after I won the belt, I went on a news channel in Chicago, and the lady was like, "Are you the champion of street fighting?" And I was like, but then I'm looking at them, and like I was there 15 minutes early, and all they're doing is reading a teleprompter. Like they don't have,
it's not real.
They don't have the skill of understanding a question. Like they can't have a real conversation with you. They just have to be like,
I just can't deal with fake people. Like I don't want to bring on any. I've had some offers as like some famous people. If they're so fake, I'm like, I'm not going to bring them on my podcast. What am I going to talk to a fake person about?
It's like robotic.
I can't do that. I want people's real opinions, real discussions. And I bring on some extremely controversial people too. I want to talk to fringe people, communists, white nationalists, black nationalists. I just want to hear I don't agree with them.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely don't agree with white nationalists. Too many in training. There's too much brotherhood between different races. So it's like, it doesn't make sense, but I'll hear the perspective.
Yeah, and literally the training, there's a melting pot, right? There's so many people with different cultures, and that's why I tell parents now, put your kids into martial arts, put them in, even if it's regular jiu-jitsu, they don't have to be fighters or anything, but it'll get them seeing everybody.
Doesn't matter if you're poor, black, white.
Yeah,
everyone's an equal on the mats, and that's that's when someone's punching you in the face. It doesn't matter what race they are, religion, Muslim, Christian. You
realize, exactly. Yeah. We all bleed the same. We're all
even Sean Strickland, dumbass, but he was like talking some shit on Islam or something. He got into some of the Muslim fighters at the gym. I remember. Yeah, but I think he stopped after that. I don't think he didn't right away. He wouldn't agree to, but then when the guy got in, I think they sparred, went at it, and then he's like, all right, I won't. I forget what he said, something about Muhammad or something, and pissed off some of the guys.
He says some of the dumbest stuff in the world.
You can't spar these Muslim dudes and insult their religion, dude. And he didn't understand that.
Yeah, because you're gonna get killed by doing something like that. Like you said, it's different with these guys here. How much we believe in it, and if you do that, and we get the opportunity, it's not gonna be. You're gonna.
Yeah. Some of those guys remember. I don't know the details. Remember some of the guys wanted to fight him at the gym, and they were like, I think they sparred. I don't know the details. I better not point out, but no, they were getting into it over something Sean said. But I think they solved it. Sean, I don't know if he apologized, but they came to an agreement to be okay. So
yeah,
obviously must have stopped talking. You got in it with Sean, didn't you?
Oh, I hate his guts. Yeah, but it was one of those things too, right? Because it was literally probably 3 years ago. Palestine again getting bombed. It didn't just happen this year. They were getting bombed, and I posted about it. And he just wanted to put his 2 cents in, like, "Oh, Palestine should just bend the knee." And I was like, "Who the hell is this guy?" And to say something stupid like that, insensitive like that, because he's a moron, right? He's doing it for the attention. He's doing it to show people that I say crazy things, and that's what I learned about him. He's just an idiot. He just says dumb things. He doesn't understand what it is. So for him to tell these people that these are their homes, these are their lives, they're watching their brother, their parents get killed, and for him to be so dumb and to say Palestine bend the knee and to put that out there on social media, it just shows how much of a moron he is. And that people could give their excuses. Oh, he had a rough childhood, blah blah. But it doesn't give you the excuse to say something like that. It doesn't give you the excuse to degrade these people that are fighting for their lives. These people that have more strength in them than you do. They have more heart in them than you do. And that's what got me starting to hate him. So
would you fight him?
100%.
He's a lot bigger than you, but
I would fight him easily. Like the UFC, he had a fight.
He is a good fighter, though. You agree he's a good fighter?
No, I think he sucks. For me, I think I would break him. For him, for the most part, when people look at the way he fights, right? It's safe. He teep kicks you to or keeps you on the outside, and then when you watch him spar, it's like, oh, he's so crazy in sparring. He spars a million times.
He beats up a lot of people like Sneeko. He gets. I like Sean, by the way. I say he's my friend.
Yeah.
We get along. Sometimes we butt heads. But I don't like the fact that he like beats up people like Sneeko. I was there that day. He had some Navy SEAL wanted to spar him for 5 rounds, which was dumb for Navy SEAL to ask.
Yeah.
But instead of him just knocking the guy out, he would like drop him, let him get back up, drop him with leg kicks. And the guy was too tough for his own good. It was fucked up.
Yeah, but do that in a fight, right? Do that in a
brutalize this guy. But he would like almost knock him out, and then he'd back up, let the guy recover for a second, then beat him up again. It was just like torture the poor guy.
Yeah, but that's a fake bully mentality.
Like, why would you do that? To
because
the
then he gets in a cage and he doesn't have that same energy. He doesn't do that same thing in the cage. But then he'll get on the mic and he'll say something crazy and stupid, right? But so it'll give him that popularity because nowadays that's what the fans are. They want that viral moment. They want you to say something stupid or ignorant, and that's where
he says some funny things too. But
but that's what the fans want to hear. And then so for myself, it's like, yeah, give me this fight, give me the next fight, and then we move up to middleweight. I'll fight him for 100%.
Yeah, like overall, I like Sean to get along, but he's done some things like attack Dewey Cooper, who comes to the gym for absolutely no reason. It's like, why would you do that? And Tiki Goosen, who's like one of the big managers, like you start attacking these guys who are like tied in the same circle, and it's like, what does this benefit you? You know,
it doesn't benefit him.
All it does is create drama in these circles where everyone rolls in the same circles, and that part seems stupid. But you notice he hasn't really tweeted anything pro-Israel in a long time. Maybe maybe his positions have changed a little. I don't know.
I think he's still an idiot, but he just got the title fight now, right? So I'm hoping he wins.
Who's he fighting?
Duplessis.
Oh, that's going to be good.
In Australia. We'll see if he makes it to Australia or if he makes it out of Australia.
I like Duplessis, man. That guy's savage.
Yeah, I mean.